Hello everyone, I'm George from Ireland and I'm in front of Kingsley Hall in Bromley by Bow. That's in London, the East End of London. And this is where Gandhi stayed when he came here in 1931, that December, for the India Roundtable talks. So I don't want to say too much about Gandhi, as I've made videos about him elsewhere, somewhere else he lived in London, in West Kensington. Anyway, so Gandhi is born in India in 1869 in Gujarat. His father was a prime minister of one of the small princely states. He was a Hindu from the Vaidya caste. Gandhi was a very clever chap. He married when he was 14, which was quite common in India at the time. He had several children, but he acquired absolute mastery of English, and that was quite unusual at the time in India. Remember, a lot of people weren't literate in the 19th century, so they couldn't read their own language, let alone read English. And he came here to London in the late 19th century, and he studied at the bar, Middle Temple, so he's called at the bar. That made him a barrister, that's to say a lawyer. And then he moved to South Africa, where he practiced law there, campaigned for racial equality. Well, sorry, that's only half true. He wanted Indians to be on a level footing with whites, but he was still in favour of racial discrimination against black people, which is really not PC and really something that a lot of people in India would rather overlook these days. But anyway, we live and learn. Many whites were anti-black and anti-Indian at the time, so he wasn't the only person getting it wrong. And there's a famous story of him being kicked off the train, despite having a first-class ticket, for sitting in a first-class carriage, for racist reasons booted off the train. So he was involved in the Congress Party, campaigned in India. I shan't recount his whole biography, but then 1930 to 1932 there were 3 roundtable conferences here in London to discuss the future of India. The Congress Party was invited, the Muslim League, the Hindu Mahasabha, and various the princes from the princely states. Congress participated in the first one, if I got that right, but not the next 2. The Congress Party was briefly outlawed 1931 to 32. He was in and out of prison from even before the First World War for almost the end of his life, till 1945. And so he landed at Dover. It was quite a stir in the news. Remember, they used to show newsreels in those days. You went to the cinema, you'd see your film, but before that you'd see a half-an-hour news show. That was only updated once a week, British Pathé News. Or is it pronounced Pathé? I'm not sure. Of him landing at Dover and then getting on the train to Londinium, probably coming into Victoria. But he stayed here. So Kingsley Hall was set up by the 2 Leicester sisters in honour of their brother, who died at the age of 26 in 1914. Died of an illness, not in the war. And he left a lot of money in his will, and he wanted good works here in the East End to be undertaken. So they built this place. It's only finally opened in 1927. Things are very slow because of the First World War. And it's a place it's a sort of youth club for people to engage in whatever fun activities, board games and things, for educational courses, for free legal advice, things like that, for people to stay here. On the top floor there's the Gandhi Foundation that is dedicated to the immortalization of his memory. Anyway, Gandhi, he was an indefatigable campaigner against religious intolerance. He hadn't wanted India partitioned. He respected Islam and Christianity, all faiths. He read the Quran and the Bible. He said "Abide with me" was his favorite hymn. So it broke his heart that India was partitioned. But in 1948 he said, okay, let's start to achieve reconciliation with Pakistan, even though the first Indo-Pak war was still on. But anyway, that was unacceptable to Narayan Apte and Nathuram Godse, 2 members of a Hindu ultra-nationalist foundation, and at Birla House, Delhi, one of them shot him dead. So both men were hanged, one for shooting him dead, the other was present when the gun was purchased for the purpose of the assassination. So Gandhi, who was cremated the next day at a ghat beside the river in Delhi. I've seen the gun that killed him, it's in one of India's museums. So that is the end of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mahatma as he's often known, the great soul. In India people often call him Gandhiji, as in respected Gandhi or honoured Gandhi. So his face is on all the banknotes. He'd briefly been leader of Congress Party in the 1930s, but by the 1940s he's more of a spiritual figure. So he lived to the age of 69, and he's renowned throughout the world as an apostle of peace. Though he's rather inconsistent on that, sometimes saying it was right to fight in the First World War, or supporting the British effort in the Second South African War, but as an ambulance driver, and so on, saying that the Japanese invasion of India should be resisted with lathis, that's to say wooden sticks. Alright, that is enough about Gandhi, and this is the sort of area it is. It's still very much a working class area, but Kingsley Hall's closed at the moment owing to coronavirus. I wonder which flags they fly there, and looks like the garden has seen better days. Toodaloo.